Hey there, this is Kat Ramirez, and I am live. It is, I forgot what day it is today. Oh my God, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. And in case you are tuning in and you don't know who I am Kat Ramirez. I'm CEO and founder of Advertise and Hashtag Social Buzz. And today I am by myself, so I don't have a guest, and that's okay. And I feel like I have a really, really good topic to talk about today. And if you're tuning in, please drop me a line. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any questions, because I'm going to talk about follow-up. So I am going to talk about follow-up, which I know it's very, very important. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the importance of follow-up. So I'm going to go into a lot of detail about follow-up. And if you have any questions or if you have anything to shout out in regards to follow-up, certainly drop me a line and let me know what your thoughts are. And I'm going to be playing with my graphics here. And let me know what you have to say or what you want to learn more about in regards to follow-up. And I see Jackie's watching. Hey, Jackie, nice to see you. And I want to make sure that my LinkedIn is also running because I want to make sure that anybody on LinkedIn is watching, then yay. Hopefully we'll get some questions. We'll get some engagement because it's all about getting some engagement. So please, if you know somebody that can benefit from this live cast talking about follow-up, please tag them. Please make sure that they are aware of this broadcast. And I'm learning how to majorly multitask as I do these broadcasts. Watching, okay. But I will have typos too. Okay, so let's talk about follow-up because here's the thing. I absolutely love talking about sales. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the reason why, in case you don't know, prior to my entrepreneur life here in my little world now, I feel like it's my little world because I'm in my living room. Where I used to be in an office, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy where we are and how times have changed. But anyways, in my previous life, I was a sales manager for broadcast television. So my role personally was hiring, training, and firing sometimes our team for the various organizations that I represented. I represent ABC, NBC, CBS, Telemundo, Fox, you named it, I did it. And so a lot of what I did all the time, day to day, was training my sales team to go out and sell. And, I was always of the belief of being a consultative seller. So I'm not a, cram it down your throat kind of girl. That's not me. And I trained my team to be consultatives as sellers as well. And I've always attended the consultative type of selling techniques and programs and what have you. And so that's what I lean toward. And that's how I have been successful with sales. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. If somebody gave me something and wanted me to sell it, I would sell it for sure. But I have to have affinity for it too. So whatever product or service or goods that you represent and you're out, representing it and pushing it or trying to get someone to purchase it, I want to help you become very successful with it. And I want to do that by talking about follow-up because I feel like people make an assumption that maybe they don't understand follow-up. Maybe they don't understand that. And it's funny because there are a lot of statistics out there. But the one that I put on the post that you guys are going to read potentially, or maybe, I don't know if you read it, in the blurb that I put out there is it takes about 5 to 12 touches, meaning this is follow-up, to get someone to close. So think about that and say it to yourself, 5 to 12 touches. That's a lot. And so what does that mean? That means that you have to follow up with the person, 5 to 12 times in order for them to say, yay, and sometimes in some incidents, it's not going to be that many times, just so that it's totally not always going to be that many. Sometimes you'll get really lucky and someone's ready to buy and they're a hot lead and they're just ready to do it and they're going to pull the trigger. And you're just going to be like there and you're going to be like, wow. You're going to be like, oh, okay. But don't assume it's always that easy, because it's not always that easy. Okay. So let's talk about some tips that I can give you so that you can follow up properly and help you potentially down the road close more deals and become a lot more successful and put more money in your pocket and put more money in the business you represent, or if you are the business, then in your pocket again. Bing. And I want to do a shout out because I see that Linda Smith is watching, and she says this will be much needed info for me. Thanks. Absolutely. Hope you get a lot out of this, Linda. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Would love to know. Okay. So I also put in the blog, and I put on there, because I always love to use sports as a point of reference, because I played sports throughout my high school and college, and I love sports, and I play sports now, and I'm a okay golfer. I'm not great, but I play a lot. I should be better than what I am. I need some lessons. But anyways, okay, so they have a shot clock in basketball, and they have it for a reason, is to keep the game going, and to keep the action going. And all the players are aware of this, game clock, because they have to put the ball in before they hear the big buzz or they see the number go 0-0, right? Okay. So that's in sports. And so once this buzz goes off, or once this clock expires, then the shot is no longer good. It is done. It's too late. So sales is very, very similar to that same type of mentality and process. Is there also is a clock in sales, and unfortunately for us, we can't see it. So you have to hold yourself accountable, because there is only a limited amount of time before this prospect that you have, where you have this chance to partner with them or sell them your goods or services, and then that time evaporates and expires. It's the same thing. I love this example. So if you think about it like that, you think about it like in the basketball field, where they have this clock, and, the players are going back and forth, and they see that clock because they have to make that shot before it expires, or else that's it. It's done. Then that shot's not going to be any good. It's too late. Okay. So let's talk about some things that are going to help you move this funnel down and help you become better at it. The first thing that you need to be able to do and identify is you got to make sure that you are prospecting the right target, the right person. Okay. Because this is going to eliminate a lot of wasteless follow through. Hey, Andre, thanks for watching. Andre's awesome in sales. He's killing it. His next move is going to be way up top. And we're so proud of you, Andre. But thanks for tuning in too. Okay, so the first thing is you have to make sure that you are identifying the exact right prospect, because you do not want to waste spinning your wheels talking to someone who is not even the right prospect, not even the right target, or doesn't even have a desire or a need for your solution. So keep that in mind. You got to identify the right prospect. So don't sit here and watch and think that, everybody is my prospect. No, everybody is not your prospect. They have to have a need for your product to solve a problem for them. Okay. There has to be a need. So the first foremost thing is to identify who is the right prospect. That way you don't spin your wheels, or the person that you're targeting doesn't spin your wheels. Okay. And then okay, so then when you identify your prospect, I separate my prospects into two categories, okay? Two really good categories, and I simplify them. And you can do yours the same or differently, but my two categories are, number one, hot leads. Hot leads are ready to take action. You can feel it, you can sense it, they're ready. They tell you the buying signs are there, they're super interested. So that's a hot lead. And so they're ready to take action, and you can tell, okay? And then you have the bench leads. Now I'm using my sports terminology here. The bench leads are the ones who show you a little bit of interest. You know, they kind of like engage with you and they tell you that they're interested, but they're not really quick to respond to meeting or your calls or information that you send to them. And it's going to take a little longer because they showed you at first they were a little bit of interest, you know, that there was some interest. So, you know, you were catching on, you put your calls in the hooks. And again, these are the bench leads. So you're not going to spend a lot of time on those because they're going to take a little longer. Okay. But you do want the two different types of leads. Okay. Because not everybody's going to be a hot lead. Okay. Those are like, ooh, those are the ones you want to just, you know, you definitely, like, I would think like those are your golden eggs. You know, you want to polish them and you want to make sure they're nice and warm. Okay. So at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to develop a methodology plan, a methodical plan that how you are going to connect to these potential prospects, you know. So what is your game plan? How are you going to find these potential prospects so that when you are talking to people that you know the trigger questions to ask to know that these would be a hot lead, okay? So you got to essentially create a roadmap so that you can get a sense of when you're talking to people, this is a hot lead, this is a warm lead, this is, you know, your bench lead, you know, whichever the case may be. So creating a roadmap of some sort. And now again, I'm going big picture, general, okay? Okay, so the other thing is you want to also make sure you document all your activity. You've got to document this because if we're talking 5 to 12 follow-ups, touches, you know, same thing. If we're talking 5 to 12, you want to document this because you eventually want to understand your stats and you want to know the statistics for you and how you are pushing people through this pipeline, your sales funnel, okay? And so whether you're going to track that in an CRM, you know, software, are you going to use an Excel grid? Are you just going to use a pen and paper and some kind of notepad, you know, but record it some way. So at this point in this conversation, I'm not telling you to get a CRM. I'm just saying record it. You got to somehow track this. And if you just use the good old fashioned way and use a pen and paper, that's okay. That is completely and utterly okay. At least you're tracking it, right? So the other thing you want to do is when you take someone through the sales process. So let's say that you did your cold calling or however you got your leads, okay? And then you set up your discovery call. So hopefully you're doing a discovery call and you're not just going straight to the pitch. So when you set up your discovery call and then you're going to come back with your proposal or your recommendation, whatever you're going to call it, okay? That after you leave that meeting, whether that's a Zoom meeting, a call, a face-to-face, whatever it is, okay, that you identify the next steps. It's your job to identify the next step. You have to make it very clear then and there, you know, what are the next steps? And you have to take charge, okay? Because the client's not going to say, you know, okay, call me. You know, they're not. They're a lot of times they're just going to be like, you know, just waiting for you to just take them to the next step, okay? So when you're there, the best thing to do is you got to push the sale along. You got to keep going, especially if they are a hot or a warm lead. You want to keep pushing it along. They don't know what the next step is, so you have to identify that. And I'll give you a great example, okay? So let's say you're in this meeting and you're done and you're about to leave, and whether you're leaving a Zoom, a phone, or a face-to-face, okay? So you would say something like, okay, is it okay if I follow up with you in 3 days? Or even more solid, you could say, hey, is it okay if I touch base with you on Tuesday at 2 p.m.? So you want to do something like that. The latter is better because now you're like making an appointment out of your follow-up. So the more that you can really be specific so that they put it on their calendar, the better for you, because they're going to be expecting that. Okay. So if you're just going to be general and say, hey, I'll follow up with you next week, you're going to leave yourself open to that. They're going to not probably get your call, or you're going to miss them or whatever. Okay. So the more that you can pinpoint it, and in that meeting, you can say, hey, my next step is I'm going to follow up with you in 3 days, or I'm going to follow up with you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. I look forward to talking to you then. Again, Matt. Okay, great. Have a great day. Okay. So again, if you think about, the whole sales process and what you're doing, closing is all about timing. At the end of the day, it's all about timing. So based on timing, we're going to talk about some best times. And I love this because this is all statistical. So everything that I'm going to talk to you about, like best time to call, best time to email, these are statistical and they're proven and they're facts. So I'm going to share those with you. Okay. That way you have lots of success, and please, please, please let me know the success that you have, whether you leave it in this post, if you are going to try this, or if you do it after the fact, message me and say, hey, Kat, I tried that. It worked. And that's why I can high five you like, hey, let me virtually high five you. It's so hard to understand this. Okay, there you go. Hey. So whether I virtually high five you or whatever, I want to celebrate with you. Okay, so best time to call. I got to boogie woogie through this because I have another meeting and now I'm like, even the time has like escaped me. Okay, best time to call. So this is based on a survey by Call Hippo, and that's actually a call service. So this survey, the optimum days to reach someone. Okay, are you ready? The optimum days. I love this, and this is awesome. This is actually aligns with some of my theory, so that's why I love it even more. Wednesdays and Thursdays are the best days for you to follow up. Wednesdays and Thursdays. So for calling, Wednesdays and Thursdays are the best days. Okay, so of the 2 days, because I know you're going to ask me, which one of the two is the best day? So Thursday is 46% better than Wednesday. Okay. So I'm also going to share with you the worst days. Okay. The worst day to call or follow up. And don't do this. So worst means don't do this. Okay. Did you hear me? Worse means don't do this. Okay. So the worst day to do your follow-up on your lead, on your call, whatever, is on a Monday. Do not do it. You're going to set yourself up for failure. And if you have been doing it on a Monday, stop it. Absolutely stop it. Okay. Now, the absolute worst day, if there is such a thing, but there is, to follow up, and this is not hard. I when I saw this, I was like, yep. I knew exactly what day they were going to say. And if you think you know, you better drop it before I say it, because the absolute worst day to follow up is Friday. Everybody's checked out, and especially Friday after 11 a.m. People are checked out. They're done. They're done with their week. They're done with everything that they had to deal with, and they've moved on to the weekend now. So the best days to call, Wednesdays and Thursdays, Thursday being the better of those two, but both are good days. So don't, try them both, because in your industry, for your product or your service or your personality, try Wednesday and Thursday and see which one works better for you. So no telling, but absolutely hands down, the worst days to follow up, first is Monday, and then second, don't even touch Friday. Don't do it. And, for me and my team, we leave Fridays as an office admin day, to follow up day, to return calls, to, get stuff organized, to get ready for next week. I teach my team that Fridays are, let's just get organized and let's understand what's going on next week. Don't plan any meetings and what have you. Okay. Now let's talk email. Are you guys ready? Email. So this again is based on a study by Propeller. And so they are a market research company, and they do a lot of testing on email marketing. And so the best days that they found to be for email prospects during the work week, and one of these is one that I actually knew about, but the other I didn't. So this is good information to know. So the best days for email marketing or to follow up, sorry. And you can use it for email marketing too, for OpenWrite, but Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are absolutely hands down the best days. However, the very best day to email, the very, very best. I love this because when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I understand this because, that would be my habit. That would be my style. So Tuesdays and Thursdays during the work week, but hands down the best days. And you have to think about the mind frame and the mentality of the person that you're trying to target. And then also of all the other people that are trying to target them is, if you think about zigging where everybody else is zagging, so everybody's bombarding people during the week. So what do you think the best days are outside of that? Saturday and Sunday for an email at the top of the day, first thing, Saturday and Sunday. So that is the best day for an OpenWrite, for a response, for anything like that. And yeah, you're going to have to work on the weekend, but that is a better day for you to get a response because you're not competing with anybody else. And when that email comes through, it prompts that person and they're probably on their phone. They're more likely to read your email and respond to you, especially if it's a really good, engaging email. So keep that in mind. It can't be like, hey, Bob, are we doing this or what? It's got to be engaging. And again, probably reiterating the benefits of the solution you're providing for their problem. Okay. We're wrapping this up. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to have a game plan. So you need to know what your personal sales process is. You need to know what your sales cycle is. So it's not like there's this magic bullet. It's not like this stuff just, happens and this aura and it's like, oh, none of that. You actually have to have a game plan. You have to have a process and you've got to strategically map that out. You should map that out. And if it's not you who is in charge, then your sales manager needs to map that out for you and work with you on that, or your leader or your mentor, whoever is on your team or whoever it is that is working with you. But there should be a plan and it should be mapped out. At the end of the day, like I said, there's no secret sauce to closing at all. But from my personal experience, I will share with you that, I'm persistent and I'm consistent. And I use, my core sales philosophies and principles that I have learned. And some of them I just shared with you, okay? And this is what makes my follow-through process like effortless, and it makes my follow-through just seem like it is part of the system, So the more that you have a plan, the more that you map this out and you have a process, the more it's going to feel natural to you, and you're not going to feel like you're bombarding or berating someone or you're annoying them. And I know that happens because, in all my years that I trained new rookie salespeople and got them going, the first thing that they always said was, I don't want to feel like I'm bugging them, and I'm like, trust me, your competitor is bugging them. So it's about timing and it's understanding and it's doing it graciously. and with respect for the person. And that's why it's so important that when you leave that last meeting, not the discovery call, but after the recommendation or proposal, that you say something like, hey, I'm going to follow up with you on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Does that sound good, George? Awesome. I'll talk to you then. Have a great day. So that's why you have to be strategic, and you got to have a plan and a process, and you got to understand it so that it comes natural, and it's not something where you're feeling like, oh, here's the next step. Oh my God, I forgot that step. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay. As I try to tighten this up and wrap this up. So again, I'm just going to reiterate the last 2 points that I just said. It's not like, well, it's kind of like a secret sauce, because a sales process is a secret sauce. I hate to say it is. And you just need to come up with that sales process, that sales cycle, so you understand the 5 to 12 touch points that you're strategically going to do, because you can strategically have those pre-created and know what they are. And then you have to make sure that you're going to track it. Okay. And you're going to make sure that you do it. Because if you don't, the person that you're competing against and they're going to take that sell from you, all because of timing or all because they followed up and you didn't. Okay. Don't ever make the assumption that, oh, I told them to call me if they want my goods or services. That's not going to happen. Why are you making them work hard? Why are you making them do that? No, it's your job. You want them to buy from you. So you should follow up and you should say, hey, are you ready to move this forward? Are we going to go ahead and set a date for production? I do the assumptive close because that's what I do. That's who I am. And, I say, hey, let me send you the link to go ahead and start taking over your social media. I do the assumptive. And then people are like, okay, yeah, okay, let's do that, Kat. And so it's your style. It's what you incorporate and what it is how you're going to do your process. Okay. So have a plan and have a process in place. Okay, so just as a reminder before we wrap this up, because this was a really good conversation, right? I think so. Jackie says, interesting. Yep. And David, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And then Andre says the cold market can be really hard. Yes, but we can do it. We can all do it. And then Linda says she was tuning in from home. So I appreciate all of you participating and leaving messages. Thank you so much. And I'm sure there's a few more, but I'm just trying to wrap this up. I'm so sorry. So here's reality again. Follow up is key. Just to reiterate the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you is it takes an average of 5 to 12 touches for someone to close a prospect. That is no lie at all. And in fact, in my era, my days when we were selling TV and I was training my team, I would tell them it takes 8 to 10, times to touch someone to get them to do something. Because we are so busy, we are so consumed. So is the person that you're calling on. It's the same thing. So it's incumbent upon you to follow up with them and remind them that you want them to buy your goods and services from you. Okay. So it's your job. It's your responsibility. Okay. So the follow-up key again is when you're playing basketball, there is a shot clock and you're dribbling and the team's dribbling and they're doing a great job and the clock is ticking and they see, okay, I only have 3 seconds before I throw that. And I know that buzzer's going to go off and either that will be a good hit, good ball or not. Same thing in sales. You got a shot clock. You can't see it, but it should be right there. It should be like on you. Okay. So you understand that because you only have a certain amount of time to follow up before your prospect evaporates, just loses all hope. That's it. It's done. Got it? I hope so. This is a lot of fun. So if this was beneficial to you, give me a thumbs up and let me know. And I appreciate the engagement and comments. Thank you so much. And if this is beneficial to someone that please tag them, drop a line, let them know, share this with them. I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to chatting with you again tomorrow. And hope you have a great evening, and I hope you have a great week. And if I don't catch you tomorrow, I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks so much. You got this. And I know you do. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.